Live from Linguinis base of operations. Today we will be diving into Season Dough, how to do list help during quarantine, end of Season 1, and a quote from a 6-year-old. So you're going to want to stay tuned for the dough. See you on the flip side.
You are now listening to Linguinis Dough.
I had to get quarantined, and my thoughts and why how to-do lists are awesome. As the kid who walks around the halls listening to podcasts, I thought I would be one of the last people quarantined. On September 21st, I was told by my school I had to quarantine till the 29th. I normally would not be upset, but I cannot work because of that. And that's, I don't really get paid if I don't work. So, yeah, this also messes up my work schedule, which hopefully I'll refix after next week, I hope. As well as being upset that I cannot go to work, I was so excited to not go to work. Kind of weird to say, but yeah, when I found out, I was like, yes, I don't get to go to work. Oh, dang it, I don't get to go to work. If I got paid time off for it or could work from home, I'd be thrilled to quarantine. For the most part. There's still some parts that suck about quarantining. Yeah. The day I was told I had to quarantine is actually the same day my RTX 2060 arrived. So I kid you not, that was perfect timing. Because the week before, or the past 2 weeks before that, I actually hadn't been able to play video games, which is very boring and bland and made days off. Bleh. And it turns out getting up early, to an alarm during online school is very hard. I mean, I remember it being hard from back in April when I first did it, but it is very hard now. I don't know why, but it's just so much harder. There's not one time I got up right at my alarm. There was one time I got close, but not where I was hoping. I thought it would be really easy because before I had to quarantine, I was probably getting 4 or 5, 6 hours of sleep on average. On occasion, 7 or 8. I have mixed feelings on whether I enjoyed the quarantine. It has been weird to be no, I can't even go to the store. Which, Wednesday I can. I don't really need to go to the store. Stops myself from impulse buying, so that's good. Yeah, so some things I liked about quarantining is finally able to play video games with my family, myself, and I just had time to play video games. I was very busy with school and work, so I didn't really have a chance to play video games. This was a refresher. I got back into Rocket League. I actually didn't play as much Fortnite as I thought I would. I don't think I like it as much anymore. It's still a good game. It's just, I don't know. I don't enjoy it the same amount as I used to. I find the Battle Royale too slow. And then creative just has a lot of bugs, / everyone fights about which mode to do. And then everyone's like, snipers only, yada, yada, yada. So that makes me not enjoy Fortnite as much. It's still a good game, even though the world seems to disagree. They seem to make fun of us, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just getting a little bit bored of it, which is okay. It's always good to go back to other games. And right now it's Rocket League, which I've been really enjoying lately. I got the Rocket Pass, I got the Battle Bus. I'm also obligated to not go anywhere, which is nice. I'm introverted and get energy from me time. That said, social interaction is still important. It's been nice not being forced to go anywhere. Just stay home. Like I said, that was the same day I had to quarantine, so I got my GPU. So I got to test it, and then I also got 2 new monitors. I got one of the monitors before quarantine, but just the other day I got the second one. And yeah, that's been fun to test around and be like, wow, this is better gaming than I've ever experienced in my whole life. And I still suck at them. But yeah, so that was nice. I am getting a lot more sleep than previously. I can go to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning and still get plenty of sleep. It's weird. That said, I try to go to bed around 11 or 12. Which I should probably shoot for 10, but nah. Why would I do that? Yeah, I don't have to go to work. That's one thing I like, Just get to chill, work on stuff I like doing. I've also streamed a decent amount during quarantine. I don't really actually ever plan on doing anything with quarantining. I mean, with streaming. it's just something I kind of enjoy doing. I don't really plan on becoming some famous streamer. I don't know. Playing video games for 8 hours a day kind of gets boring, and I don't know. Yeah, I maintain my room. It's clean for once, and I still hate it. It still needs more organization. I think later in the podcast I'll talk more about, like, because I cleaned it, but I'm actually doing more than just cleaning it. But I want to talk about more of that at the end of the podcast, so don't let me forget. Actually, scratch whatever I just said. Yeah, so I've maintained my room more, made it clean, organized it a little better, but I'm also trying to make my room more minimalistic. I realized I don't like clutter. It kind of stresses me out. There are some nights while I was quarantining, and just with everything, it's like nothing's organized. Like, yeah, I have the desks are organized. That's the part that I did a good job. I consider that minimalistic, even though there's cables I still have to deal with. But like my closet, there's just way too much stuff I didn't need. These drawers that I had a bunch of junk in, got rid of a bunch of that. I still have to do under my bed. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff I don't need. And I like the idea of minimalism, where you just get rid of what you don't need. It's what you use that matters. It also looks cleaner being more minimalistic. But it's stuff I'm slowly becoming more minimalistic. I did also get rid of a ton of my shirts. Right now I'm trying to keep like a gray-black theme of shirts, mainly because that's mostly what I had. I think in the future, once I spend money towards minimalism, I'm going to shoot for just like yellow t-shirts, because I like yellow. This really stands out. I know it's weird to say because nobody likes yellow, but yeah. So that was one thing that I liked about quarantine. And it just kind of gave me a time to breathe. Before quarantine, it was just school, work, homework. Maybe stay up for a little bit and play video games, kind of. Maybe. I mean, not the past 2 weeks because my GPU was broken. Rinse and repeat, though. And yeah, it's just been nice to have a time to breathe. Some things I dislike about quarantine. Turns out there's more I dislike about it than I thought I would. You know, as I was writing this outline, I said that school sucks. It sucks when you don't start on the assignments. It sucks when you get behind. So if you can't handle online school, it sucks. If you can, I much prefer it. And I'm thinking I might actually try going to online rather than going back in person. Plus, I'm going to get quarantined again if I go in person. Like, it's destined to happen. Yeah, I've been procrastinating so much, so that's why I made it suck for me. But on Saturday, I finally got a bunch of the stuff I needed done, and here I am working on a to-do list again, which is recording Linguinis Dough, getting it out before September ends. So yeah, I know I don't have a guest this time, which is sad, but you know, I said I liked about having so much time. I also dislike having so much time, because you know how I was saying I was used to school, work, homework, and all that crap. Well, yeah, now I just have unlimited time, so I have to actually make use of it. And I'm not one of those people that likes to just sit and play video games for 8 hours. Like, I like video games, but I have to work. So, a couple examples of things I actually started working on. I actually didn't work on an animation. It'll probably be my last stop motion. I don't know. I want to learn something else, but maybe though. I keep going back and forth. Do I want to finish Battle for Brickma? Yes, no, I don't know. I read something saying about, this is from Dr. Rabbito1 on Reddit. This is 2 years ago. Quote unquote, remember, your stress level is your skill level. If you don't even want to draw your stuff, this means the project is too big or it's way out of your current skill level. Scale everything down 1/4 the size, or focus on one scene and make that the entire short film. Then there's some more stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Battle for Brickma was a project that's too big for me to handle. And that was my fault, and it makes it very hard to go back to it. Like, I just don't feel like I can start it. That, and I don't enjoy animation or stop motion animation as much as I used to. So it just makes it hard knowing whether I'll go back to it. Anyways, that is a side tangent for a whole nother thing. I might cut that out of the final podcast today. I don't go to work. I don't hate work, even though it's fast food, but there's some things I can like, and I don't get paid, so it's part of the reason I'm disliking about not going to work. Yeah, I was finishing the first quarter of my language arts class, which made things more difficult during this online school. With my online language arts class, at the end, there's like 4 modules. And at the end of each module, there's like a test and then a module assignment. And the module assignment is usually harder. I think it's harder than the test. So that was a little bit tricky. But I made it through. I finished the class, just waiting for quarter 2 to start on that. And I think that's all the quarters I have to do for that because I'm taking creative writing. But yeah, that made online school harder. Also, my dogs are so noisy in the morning. Every time my mom leaves, they howl, they bark. They'll come to my room and bark. And then I'll have to get up, let them in, and then I'll fall back asleep. Oh my goodness, I love those dogs. But do they not understand? I want my sleep when I have this chance. So that was like my quarantining experience. What actually helped me through this experience was to-do lists. I would not have been caught up at all if it weren't for to-do lists. I would have forgot every assignment I needed to do. It just would have been so much more stressful if I didn't use to-do lists. So I actually have been using them for a while. I've probably mentioned them on this podcast. I don't remember if I have, but I probably have. And holy crap, they help a lot. What I think was different about this quarantine is I figured out more techniques that help you manage to-do lists better, and it kind of just, it's hard to explain, but it makes it's like, I'll call it rules, even though they're not rules. But they're like the rules of to-do lists to make sure you're doing them right so that you actually get them done. And at the start of it, I was just doing my basic to-do lists, and yeah, those never got done because I don't know. I'll just list the 5 things and it'll make more sense. So if you're doing a to-do list, just be specific about what you want done. Make sure you have deadlines for what you want done. Without a deadline, you're going to fall behind, and I do it all the time. And I realized that deadlines really did help me get my schoolwork done. Or I have a calendar to-do list for my online language arts class, and that helps a lot. So have deadlines. I actually only realized this the other day, but if you put the to-do list in order, what you need done first to last, or like a balance, so you're not working super hard at the beginning or super light at the beginning and then very hard at the end or very easy at the end. It's kind of like a balance that will keep you working on it, rather than you find something too hard, you stop, and you end up not getting any of the things done, if that made sense. So yeah, just make sure you have a list of how you want them ordered on when you want them done. And I'd say start with something easy so you can get the flow into the work mode. That's probably also very important. And actually do the items. If you don't do them, then then you didn't get them done, and yeah. The to-do list doesn't stop you from procrastinating. I procrastinated a ton, even with my to-do list, even when it wasn't that big. There was one day where I actually fell asleep on my floor because I didn't want to do my homework. So that was good, right? I got rid of, I was talking about minimalism earlier in the podcast. So yeah, I actually got rid of a lot of things during my quarantine. I kind of discovered that social media was bad for me. I haven't been using it lately, and I felt so much better. I think that's part of the reason I got more productive with my just my homework. It was in one day I got a week's worth of homework done, which, I mean, I'm a senior, so I have easy classes, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. I also got a wallpaper on my phone that says to put my phone away, and another lock screen thing that's put your phone down, look around you. And I also uninstalled 95% of the apps on my phone. I probably won't do this for an incredibly long time, but I'm thinking I'll probably go for as long as the school year is, because I can't get schoolwork done with my phone, and there's just a lot of stuff I can't get done when I use my phone. I wake up, I go to my phone. I'm working, there's a loading screen, I go to my phone, and then I'm on that for another hour. So I'm trying to reduce that usage time, especially since I only need a phone for very few things. And that's what I'm trying to just limit to, what I actually need versus want. Yeah, I think that's, for the most part, what my quarantine experience was like. I think we're going to move on to the next segment. The quote.
Wow, that piece of dough was really interesting. Moving on, we're going to mix the dough with the quote.
If we do it now, we'll never run out of time. Apparently a Redditor's 6-year-old said that. This reminds me of a subreddit I follow called Vague Life Tips or something like that. That said, this is actually great advice. As simple as it is, like famous people will just say this, but with fancier words. And to me, it makes it more forgettable that way. This is just straight to the point, not overdone. Just do it now, and you'll have time. You know how in high school or college, it doesn't really matter. You know how when you're writing an essay and you look up a dictionary so you could find the most complex words to make your essay sound so fancy? I feel like that's what a lot of famous people do to this quote. Which is kind of why I like it, because this is just like the simplified. This is all I really need to know. I mean, there's more to it, but yeah. If I would have followed this quote in quarantine, I would have made this week a lot easier. So follow this quote, and you'll become successful, famous, everything, right? I think so, right? All right, on to the next segment.
To yonder yeeter, we are now moving on to our final piece of dough.
Yep, this is the last episode for the season. Things will be changing, but I do plan on keeping this podcast up. A lot of podcasts end at 10 episodes, so that means I'll be going to 11, which is an achievement in its own, I guess. And I can't believe it's already been 10 months of this. That's crazy. For season 2, I was actually originally thinking to do a video podcast, but after thinking about that some more, I'm not ready for that. I need to focus on the smaller goals, like getting a guest on each episode, getting a better work ethic towards working on the podcast. That and just video is a lot of work. I'm kind of busy right now, and as it is, I'm barely making this podcast before the week or the month ends. So probably shouldn't add in video. That would make it take just a little bit longer. Technically, it does take up storage, but I'd be lying if I told you I don't have enough. I will be taking a 1-month break from scripting, recording any podcast episodes. But in that time, I plan on updating the art to the channel / podcast and making it a little bit more up to date. I don't know if you've seen my hair recently, but it is not the same as Linguinis Dough title picture at the moment. Alright, I might try uploading more than one podcast every month. Don't quote me on this. It's possible I'll slack and not end up doing it. But I'm hoping I will. I was actually thinking while I was eating an ice cream sandwich, what if I did it just like little mini segments and then I had the one main segment each month? Or the main podcast for each month. I feel like that'd probably be the most reasonable. Plus, nobody wants to listen to me for 30 minutes every single week. So, might be smarter to just do small little segments and then have the one major episode. That's a thought I'm thinking. But yeah, I think I was doing more than one every month because I always start working on this podcast like the week before it comes out because I procrastinate so much. So might as well just add in every week and there won't really be much room to procrastinate. I'll just have to get it done. I'll probably won't start this till 2021 hits, but school and work is just kind of busy. Yeah, there'll be a minimum of one podcast every month. That's a guaranteed. For my channel, Andini Linguini, I'm thinking of challenging myself to make a video every week. Plus, that's good for the algorithm. Just generally a good thing to do, I think. And I'll probably start this on my podcast break or after that. Not quite sure which one, but I'm thinking I'm going to do it. Anywho, I'll see y'all in November when season 2 of Linguinis Dough is arriving. Till next time. If you have any ideas for our podcast, just let me know in the comments or just any way you can figure out how to contact me. Just let me know and I might talk about it. Hey, if you'd like to be a guest, go right on ahead. I would love to have guests. It really makes the show that much better. And if you still don't quite get what Linguinis Dough is, when you think of dough, it's the base ingredient. And for Linguinis Dough, the base ingredient is going to be whatever I decide to talk about, whatever I feel like talking about. And we're going to make it into this podcast, if that made sense, which it probably didn't. I do try keeping a theme of productivity, so I make that piece of dough that I talk about. I bake it into some productive topic, usually, not all the time. And I do 10 episodes every season, and then I'm going to end a season. I'll take a small break, and then do season 2, which is actually what I'm going to currently do, which is nice. The songs I used in this podcast are Slug Live 87, Go On Going, Charanagoes, Digital Memories, and Witness, all from the YouTube library. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next season.